The mistake of underestimation. The Vraxian Empire had conquered 17 galactic sectors in less than a millennium. Their success was built on precision, efficiency, and an unshakable confidence in their superiority. Admiral Xerath Krell stood on the command deck of the Inevitable Dominance, the flagship of the 14th Conquest Fleet, his 6 eyes scanning the holographic display of a small blue-green planet. "System analysis complete, Admiral," reported Sub-Commander Vex, her exoskeletal arms manipulating the control interface. "Third planet from a G-type star. Local designation: Earth. Dominant species calls themselves humans. Pre-FTL civilization with rudimentary orbital capabilities. No unified planetary government. No significant defensive infrastructure detected." Krell's mouth appendages clicked in satisfaction. Another simple conquest. Then, the Empire expands as it must. The Vraxians had perfected their conquest protocol over centuries. It was elegant, efficient, and had never failed. First, demonstrate overwhelming power. Second, demand unconditional surrender. Third, integrate useful elements of the conquered species while neutralizing resistance. Fourth, extract resources for the glory of the Empire. "Deploy standard conquest formation," Krell ordered. "Target their largest military installation for the demonstration strike." The Vraxian fleet, 27 ships strong, arranged themselves in the geometric perfection of Conquest Formation Alpha. Sensors identified a military base in a desert region of the Northern Hemisphere. Demonstration target acquired. "Weapons charge," Vex confirmed. "Fire," Krell commanded. A beam of concentrated energy lanced from the Inevitable Dominance, striking the military installation with surgical precision. The base vaporized instantly, leaving a perfect circular crater where it once stood. "Broadcast the Imperial Declaration across all electromagnetic frequencies," Krell ordered. The message was simple and had been used across 100 worlds. "Attention inhabitants of Earth. You have been selected for integration into the Vraxian Empire. Your resistance is futile and will result in unnecessary suffering. Surrender your planet within 1 planetary rotation, and you will be treated with the Empire's mercy. Resist, and you will be crushed." Krell settled back in his command chair. This was typically the period of panic, followed by capitulation. Sometimes a token resistance was offered, quickly crushed. Occasionally, a unified defense was mounted, easily overwhelmed by superior Vraxian technology. 3 hours passed. The response from Earth was not what the Vraxians expected. "Admiral," Vex's voice carried an unusual note of concern. "We're detecting unusual activity across the planet." "Explain," Krell demanded. "The humans are not broadcasting surrender terms. Instead, they appear to be coordinating. We're intercepting communications between their disparate nations. They're sharing military technology, strategies, defensive capabilities." Krell rose from his chair. "Impossible. Pre-unified species always fracture under pressure. Their territorial instincts prevent effective cooperation. Nevertheless, Admiral, we're detecting global military mobilization. And something else." Vex's voice faltered. "They're targeting us with primitive scanning technologies. Different types, simultaneously." Before Krell could respond, the tactical officer interrupted. "Sir, we're detecting launches. Multiple missile launches from across the planet's surface." Krell chittered in amusement. "Nuclear weapons. Against our shields. Let them waste their arsenals." The tactical display showed hundreds of projectiles rising from Earth's surface. The fleet's defensive systems automatically analyzed incoming threats, adapting shields to neutralize them. It was standard procedure that had worked flawlessly for centuries. "Admiral, something is wrong," the tactical officer reported, mandibles clicking rapidly in distress. "The incoming weapons, they're not standardized. Each missile appears to have different propulsion systems, different guidance mechanisms, different payload signatures." Krell moved to the tactical station. "That's inefficient and illogical. Advanced weapons development requires standardization. Nevertheless, sir, our adaptive defense systems are struggling to categorize and counter them all simultaneously. The first wave of missiles reached the Vraxian fleet. Most were intercepted or deflected harmlessly by the shields. But several, far more than should have been possible, penetrated their defenses. 3 support vessels reported impacts. Minor damage to support vessels, Vex reported. Shields holding at 87% effectiveness. Krell's antenna twitched nervously. How did primitive missiles penetrate our defenses? Sir, the communications officer interrupted. We're receiving transmissions, not directed at us, but between human military commands. Let me hear them, Krell ordered. The command deck filled with translated human communications. Russian hypersonic missiles confirmed hit on secondary vessel. Chinese EMP warheads disrupting their shield harmonics. European Union confirming shield frequency data. Indian forces reporting successful penetration with phased array tactics. Japanese quantum displacement technology deploying now. They're using completely different attack methodologies, Vex observed, disbelief evident in her voice. Each nation is approaching the problem differently, yet they're sharing results. Impossible, Krell whispered. The Vraxian Conquest Protocol had never encountered this scenario. Species either unified under one defense strategy or fractured into competing responses. This coordinated diversity defied their understanding of pre-unified civilizations. The tactical officer's voice rose in alarm. Second wave approaching. Triple the number of projectiles. And they're adapting based on first wave results. Impossible, Krell repeated. They couldn't analyze shield interactions and adapt their weapons that quickly. Sir, Vex said, mandibles trembling. I've been analyzing their global communications. These humans have been fighting each other for their entire recorded history. Their weapons development wasn't designed against external threats. It evolved against themselves. The realization struck Krell like a physical blow. The Vraxians had always conquered species that had unified their military technologies, creating systems that could be analyzed, predicted, and countered. But humans had created weapons designed to overcome other human defenses developed by minds as unpredictable and diverse as those attacking them. All vessels, evasive patterns, Krell ordered. Recalibrate shields to random fluctuation patterns. But it was too late. The second wave hit, and this time, 12 Vraxian vessels reported significant damage. Admiral, the sensor operator called out, we're detecting energy signatures from Earth's moon. Dormant installations are activating. The moon? No pre-FTL civilization maintains lunar military bases, Krell said, but even as he spoke, his certainty wavered. Hidden bases on Earth's moon unleashed a barrage of kinetic projectiles, aimed with precision at the Vraxian fleet's now exposed vulnerabilities. The ships scattered, breaking formation for the first time in centuries of conquest. Sir, Vex said quietly, I've completed my analysis of human historical records. They've fought over 15,000 significant wars among themselves. Their weapons evolved not against a single external logic, but against countless variations of their own ingenuity. The third wave approached, a combination of Earth-launched missiles and lunar kinetic weaponry. But now, there was something new, small, maneuverable fighter craft, piloted by humans willing to sacrifice themselves to damage the invaders. Incoming transmission, the communications officer reported, from multiple human military commands simultaneously. On the command screen appeared representatives from various Earth nations, each speaking in their own language, but delivering the same message. Vraxian fleet, you have attacked one of us, and therefore all of us. Our differences end where our collective survival begins. You have 1 Earth hour to withdraw from our solar system. There will be no further warnings. For the first time in his long military career, Admiral Zeroth Krell felt a sensation he could not immediately identify. After a moment of reflection, he recognized it as fear. Signal the fleet, he ordered. Withdraw to safe distance. We need to reassess. As the damaged Vraxian vessels limped away from Earth orbit, Krell stared at the small blue-green planet on the view screen. The conquest that should have been completed in hours had become something unprecedented in Imperial history, a setback. "Sir," Vex asked cautiously, "shall I prepare the Imperial defeat protocol?" "No," Krell replied, eyes fixed on Earth. "This isn't over. Summon the 3rd and 7th Conquest fleets. If these humans want to fight, we'll show them the full might of the Vraxian Empire." But deep in his thoracic cavity, a doubt had formed. A doubt no Vraxian admiral had experienced in centuries of expansion. These humans were different, and for the first time, Krell wondered if the Empire had finally encountered a species it could not conquer through conventional means. The Empire strikes back. 3 weeks after the first Vraxian attack, Earth prepared for the inevitable return. Humanity had experienced something unprecedented in its turbulent history: absolute unity of purpose, while maintaining diversity of approach. In orbit around Mars, hidden from Vraxian long-range sensors, Admiral Krell had assembled the largest battle fleet deployed in a century. 116 warships, including 3 planetary subjugation vessels, moon-sized battle platforms capable of rendering a world uninhabitable in hours. "The humans continue to build defenses," reported Vex, now elevated to commander after the previous engagement. "They've established additional lunar bases and armed their orbital platforms." Krell's mandibles clicked in determination. "Irrelevant. Our new approach will overwhelm any defense. We'll strike simultaneously at every major population center. No demonstration, no warning. Total subjugation." The Vraxian conquest doctrine had been revised specifically for Earth. No longer would they follow the traditional protocol. This time, they would crush all resistance in a single overwhelming assault. "Deploy the fleet," Krell ordered. "Standard geometric formation is abandoned. Maximum dispersal for minimum target profile." On Earth, Dr. Elena Chandra stood in the underground command center beneath the Himalayas, where representatives from every nation monitored the approaching Vraxian fleet. "They're coming in dispersed this time," she observed. "They've learned from their first mistake." General Zhang of the Chinese Space Force nodded. "But we've learned more. The data from their shield frequencies has allowed us to recalibrate our weapons, and the recovered technology from their damaged support vessel has been enlightening." Dr. Chandra looked around the room at the improbable alliance that had formed. Former enemies worked side by side, bringing their unique perspectives to humanity's defense. American AI specialists collaborated with Russian cyber warfare experts. Indian quantum physicists shared discoveries with Japanese nanotechnologists. European biologists worked with Brazilian chemical engineers. Launch Operation Prometheus ordered Admiral Harrington of the newly formed Earth Defense Force. Across the globe and on the lunar bases, humanity's countermeasure began. Unlike the previous engagement, they would not wait for the Vraxians to attack first. In his command chair, Admiral Krell watched with satisfaction as his fleet approached Earth. The humans had been given time to prepare, but no pre-FTL civilization could possibly resist the combined might of 3 conquest fleets. "Sir," his tactical officer called out, "we're detecting unusual energy signatures from Earth's moon." "Another pitiful kinetic weapons barrage?" Krell asked dismissively. "No, sir. Something different. These are. I can't identify the technology." Commander Vex moved to the sensor station. "These readings don't match anything in our database. It's as if they've created something new." From Earth's lunar bases, humanity unleashed its response to the Vraxian threat. Not missiles or kinetic projectiles, but thousands of small, autonomous drones, each carrying a device human scientists had reverse-engineered from the recovered Vraxian vessel, a shield frequency disruptor, miniaturized and modified using technologies no single nation could have developed alone. "Swarm deployment detected," the Vraxian tactical officer reported, voice rising in alarm. Numbers exceeding defensive countermeasure capabilities. The human drones swarmed the Vraxian fleet, attaching themselves to ship hulls. Each drone broadcast a different disruption frequency, creating localized shield failures across multiple vessels simultaneously. Impossible, Krell hissed. They couldn't have understood our shield technology so quickly. Sir, Vex said quietly, I've been studying human historical records. Their rate of technological adaptation exceeds anything in our archives. During something they called their Second World War, they went from primitive propeller aircraft to jet engines and ballistic missiles in just 6 years. The second phase of humanity's defense activated. From Earth, a coordinated barrage of missiles, each nation contributing their unique designs, targeted the now vulnerable Vraxian vessels. Unlike the first encounter, these missiles carried warheads specifically designed to exploit Vraxian technological weaknesses. 17 vessels reporting critical damage. The tactical officer announced. Shield failures cascading across the fleet. Krell rose from his command chair. Deploy the planetary subjugation vessels. End this resistance now. The 3 massive battle platforms moved into position, their planet-killing weapons charging. Each was capable of rendering continents uninhabitable. Together, they could end all life on Earth in hours. Sir, the communications officer interrupted. We're receiving a transmission from Earth. They're offering terms. Display it, Krell ordered, mandibles clicking in amusement. Finally, the humans had realized the futility of resistance. A human female appeared on the screen. Dr. Elena Chandra spoke calmly, with none of the fear Krell expected. Admiral Krell, your fleet is compromised. Your shield technologies have been neutralized. But we're not interested in your destruction. We're transmitting a data package to your vessel now. Please review it before continuing this conflict. Krell chittered in derision. A desperate ploy. Ignore it. Sir, Vex said cautiously, I recommend we at least examine their transmission. Understanding the enemy's psychology could be valuable. Reluctantly, Krell nodded. The data package was received, scanned for cyber threats, and displayed. What Krell saw shocked him to his core. The humans had transmitted detailed schematics of the Vraxian fleet, including the command protocols for the planetary subjugation vessels. Alongside this intelligence was something even more disturbing. A comprehensive analysis of Vraxian biology, including synthetic compounds that could target their neural pathways. How? Krell whispered. How could they have learned so much so quickly? Sir, Vex said, reviewing the data, they've not only reverse-engineered our technology, they've improved it. These designs show modifications to our propulsion systems that our own engineers haven't considered. The human, Dr. Chandra continued, we don't seek your destruction, Admiral. We seek understanding. In the 3 weeks since your attack, we've learned more about Vraxian biology, technology, and culture than we've learned about some species on our own planet in centuries. We're transmitting a second data package now, something we think will interest you. The second transmission contains something unprecedented, an offer of alliance. Not surrender, but partnership. The humans propose technological exchange, mutual defense agreements, and shared exploration rights. They had studied Vraxian history and identified the true threats to the Empire, threats they believed they could help counter. This is absurd, Krell declared. No species has ever proposed alliance after being targeted for conquest. Sir, Vex said, her voice thoughtful, I believe I understand now. The same diversity that makes them formidable opponents also makes them potentially valuable allies. Their approach to problems is fundamentally different from ours. Demonstrate our resolve, Krell ordered, pushing aside his growing doubts. The center subjugation vessel will target their largest population center. The massive weapon began to charge, targeting what humans called Asia. But before it could fire, something unprecedented happened. The subjugation vessel's systems shut down completely. Sir, the tactical officer reported, panic evident in his voice, the humans have somehow transmitted a shutdown code to the subjugation vessel. They've taken control of it. Impossibly, the humans had not only decoded Vraxian command protocols, but had identified and exploited a security vulnerability the Vraxians themselves hadn't discovered. Dr. Chandra's image reappeared. That was a demonstration, Admiral. We now control your largest weapons platform. We could turn it against your fleet, but that's not our intention. We prefer cooperation to conflict. For the first time in the 1,000-year history of the Vraxian Empire, an admiral faced a choice never before considered: retreat or negotiate. Krell looked at the tactical display, where more of his ships were reporting critical systems failures as human drones continued to swarm them. He looked at the biological data, showing how human scientists had already synthesized compounds that could incapacitate Vraxian nervous systems. He looked at the improved engineering schematics, demonstrating innovations his own people hadn't conceived. "Open a channel," he ordered finally. "Admiral," Vex questioned, "in 1,000 years of conquest, we have never encountered a species like these humans," Krell said quietly. "Their strength isn't in unity, but in diversity. They don't think alike, they don't act alike, and that makes them unpredictable." He faced the view screen, where Dr. Chandra waited patiently. "This is Admiral Zerath Krell of the Vraxian Empire. I am authorized to discuss your proposal." As negotiations began, Krell realized that the Vraxian Empire had not suffered a defeat this day. Rather, they had discovered something far more valuable than another conquered world. They had found the first species in their 1,000-year history that could truly surprise them. In the centuries that followed, historians across the galaxy would mark this moment as the beginning of a profound transformation. The Vraxian-human alliance would reshape galactic politics, combining Vraxian efficiency with human innovation in ways neither species could have achieved alone. And Admiral Krell, once expected to add another conquest to the Empire's glory, would instead be remembered as the visionary who recognized that some species are more valuable as allies than as subjects, especially those unpredictable enough to turn imminent defeat into unprecedented opportunity.